what I ended up doing is going slightly in the future, a little bit in milliseconds, or actually microseconds. And what I found out, which probably everybody knows anyway, is there is no future. There's only a series of probabilities. And so the whole concept of be here now made a lot of sense, and it was a very disorienting process because I basically went into a black void inside of this machine. When I looked out, it had a window in it, and there's a picture of it on that website. And when I looked out of the window, I saw a car, but it was frozen because I was moving forward. I was accelerating forward. The car, it was at night. The car headlights were shining on the street ahead of it, and you could actually see the individual spots, like photons, individual photons, as the headlights hit the street. So everything was like frozen. Then I sped the process up a little bit more, and everything went black, and I was in a black void, and there was nothing there because there's absolutely nothing beyond where we are at this very moment in time anywhere in the universe. We're all synchronized together, believe it or not. The future is a series of possibilities and can be experienced by astral situations because the astral plane precedes the physical plane. And in the device, it's explained how it works. It's all in the book, and it's pretty interesting. It's an intricate device, but it works on the theory of how we do atom smashing in laboratories.
Let's do Nick, first-time caller line for Dr. Fred Bell on Coast to Coast AM. Nick?
Hi.
Hi.
Quick question. We're talking about time travel here, and what is your disposition on George Bush's new bill about daylight savings? Is that going to mess up?
I've never believed in daylight savings because I don't know what daylight. I don't know its bill, but I'll tell you this: daylight savings, I hate it. Our biological clocks are based on the routine of what time we get up in the morning and what time we go to bed at night, and our biosystems in the human body adapt to the natural things in nature, just like animals do. You don't see horses or cows going on daylight savings time, and I feel that when you disorient somebody by pushing their time forward or backward, it's a psychological control process that the government instituted, and I'm totally against it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. Say what you like. I don't know if you caught the news story, but President Bush threw out the first pitch at a Little League game today.
Yeah.
And at least he could get it all the way from the mound.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, his father had a problem with that, always shorting it, throwing it to home plate.
So I bet Bill Clinton could still do it.
It's nice to see a president who can make it all the way to home plate.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Mike, east of the Rockies on Coast to Coast AM for Dr. Fred.
Yeah.
Mike?
I got a hard one.
Go ahead.
How long did it take him to write his
that's
book?
a question you have in mind. Yes, go ahead.
How long did it take him to write his book?
How long did it take to write my book?
Yes.
Well, in physical time, 10 years. In many lifetimes, probably, to get it straight. But it took the last book is 10 years. It took. This new one has probably taken 2. I've got it down. By the way, the book weighs 5 pounds and it's got 400 illustrations. It's not. We call it the telephone book. So the next book's not going to have any pictures in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I figured I can do it descriptively this time without all the pictures.
Thank you, Mike. Let's go, Peter.
Great question, Mike.
Peter on the international line for Dr. Fred Bell. Peter?
Dr. Bell.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to ask you a question about how you and your puny human minds came up with the concept of calling us the Greys.
Why do we call the Greys the Greys?
I'm sorry, is this the intergalactic line? Or is this the... Okay, thank you, Peter. Hey, let's go to Ed, wildcard line on Coast to Coast AM for Dr. Fred Bell. Ed?
How you doing, Ian?
All right, go ahead.
Good job. Hi, Dr. Bell.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, and yourself? I have a question about the Pleiadians, whether they're going to be coming to intercede.
No,
on behalf
I can
of
answer that question. The Andromedans, the Pleiadian lives about 1,500 years in its life, and they are very much sensitive to karmic forces. Because when you live that long, your immune system is a little different than ours. They can only go so far with us. They taught us a lot of stuff we got to execute now. The Andromedans work on the hologram, and the Andromedans are what we call the divine intervening forces that it talks about in the Book of Revelation. If you want to even go that way with it, and so the Andromedans are the ones to watch for. They're male, female, sort of. They're in one body. Whereas the Pleiadians were sexual like we are. They're a little bit different. They have a Castilian look as future contactees come up and describe them. They're more like a Castilian look versus a Nordic look. But no, the Pleiadians are fading back because their work is done now.
What was their work that was finished?
Their work, they work with myself, people at a lot of companies. They helped develop the transistor. They did all kinds of stuff in computer areas. They did all kinds of stuff with me in life sciences, the areas that I work in. They did a lot. They did work in horticulture. The Pleiadians, they believe to be next to God is to be next to nature. They've done a huge amount in horticulture, and they work with contactees all over the world. Most of them don't get up and talk about it. They just did their work.
But what's their work that's finished and done with the horticulture, done with the transistor?
What's finished now is they put enough seeds in our society, in our technology, and the things that we do that they can't be effective anymore. We have to now pick up the reins and use what we were given to take it to the next level. And that's what I'm trying to say.
What chance do we have against the Andromedans?
The Andromedans are for us. They help us.
Okay.
But they don't have a karmic problem. They don't care about karma. That doesn't work for them. They will fix things, but they will allow us to call out our own species, which we're doing. I mean, look at people driving on cell phones. Is there anybody home? Hello. I mean, do people use turn signals in their cars anymore? I don't think so. You got to use your intuition. You know.
It depends what state you're in. Some states are better
where
on
do they use them? I want to go there.
We use them a lot here in the Midwest.
We're
much more
use them down there still.
Yeah. And now, I'm not saying they don't turn on their turn signal just before they cut you off and jump in traffic, but at least the turn signal's on.
Well, that's good. Then you don't have to do out here in California. They're not even going to put them on next year. I understand.
They're going to start leaving them off. Their cars have evolved beyond the need for turn signals.
Right.
Sort of
they
like
don't need them out here. They're intuitive, and everybody. I guarantee you. The other thing I want to bring up with cell phones, there's going to be a lot of head cancer real soon because. When they did these tests, I work with radiation. I work with it all my life. I know how long it takes before you get cancer. It takes about 15 years, 20 years with a cell phone. And so when they did all these studies, the statistic they came up was the car wrecks go up a lot, about 800% on the cell phone. But pretty soon cancer is going to be coming along down the pike, because of that. And you're going to see it everywhere. Okay.
All right, let's go to Donovan on the wild card line for Dr. Fred Bell on Coast to Coast AM. Donovan?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey. Hi, I'm Donovan I'm in Seattle.
Hi.
Cool.
Hi. I was wondering, have you ever heard of Dr. Boyd Williamson out of Cle Elum?
No, not offhand.
You're not familiar with his work?
No.
Well, because he has this theory where, I guess he's built this device, and the whole thing behind it is kind of what the other guy was saying about, the protons and the neurons and stuff.
Right.
But I don't know. He has this crazy collection of those, power sphere things.
Yeah.
And he tried some stuff out on me, and I got physically sick.
Well, that's probably your detoxing. Either he's using ozone therapy, which is a no-no, or you go through a detox. A lot of these new therapies take you through a detox. Not knowing his work, I really can't comment on it.
Yeah, and we just have to always...
Send me an email or something, and I'll look into it.
We always have to remind people of this ongoing experiment with time travel that we have on the phones is always remember to turn off your radio when you're calling, or you'll be trying to simultaneously live 7.5 seconds in the past and in the present at the same time, and that never works.
It's called feedback.
Yeah, so you'll get distracted by hearing yourself say stuff on the radio, and so you'll lose it. So just make sure the radio stays off. Let's go, Kevin, west of the Rockies for Dr. Fred Bell on Coast to Coast AM. Kevin?
Yeah, hey guys, this is Kevin in Tempe, KFYI.
Glad to have you.
Ian, I love the show.
Thank you.
Good.
Dr. Bell, I was wondering if you're familiar with John Loengard and if you might have a comment on what's considered the alien parasite, I guess.
Well, the Greys are parasites. I mean, there's a lot of different ones. I mean, if that's what you're talking about.
What are you speaking of, Kevin?
Well, specifically, I was made aware of a parasite that the Greys can inflict upon certain humans that they pick out. And it's the hive mind thing and so forth, that this alien actually enters you and controls you. It's a hideous-looking thing.
Is it like the bug in Wrath of Khan, where Khan puts that thing in Chekhov's ear and it wraps around his cerebral cortex?
Sort of. It looks a little bit more like an octopus type of or a squid. But
well, that's what the implants look like, but they're very small. I've seen them. The implants look sort of like an octopus. They're very small. They're about 1/8 of an inch. They're metallic in the center, and they go out into a protein mass, and from a mineral to a protein. And they actually, when they implant you, they put a hologram projector on your body with these ships where they tie people down. And what they do is they use the minerals in your body, the actual trace minerals that are located in your body, and they condense them into it's very much like what we call monolithic circuitry we use in computers now. They hybridize this thing right into your body with the projection.